The man is named Roland Martin. He has a show called Unfiltered, the daily digital show, and he has some guests here, and they're going to form what we call an echo chamber. We have four sort of like-minded people that are going to get together. They're all sadly misinformed about a major topic, in this case, Kyle Rittenhouse, and they're going to get together, and you're going to see how it just sort of feeds on itself. And so we'll take a look at this, and I'll be commenting from time to time on, well, their hilarity. Hello out there. I am trying to get through.
With his powerful brainwaves cradled in the warmth of reasoning, it's time for Johnnie Walker Dread to straighten you out on a thing or two. Emanating all the way from exciting Las Vegas, Oklahoma, it's the Johnnie Walker Dread Show.
The white supremacist, this fool Kyle Rittenhouse.
Kyle Rittenhouse, not a white supremacist. At least there's no evidence of it whatsoever. But he just says it anyway. They don't care. I mean, if you ask them, well, explain why you think that Kyle is a white supremacist, then they'll talk about, well, he was at Pudgy's and he showed a hand sign of some sort. But there's nothing to indicate that Kyle's an actual white supremacist. They scoured his Facebook and his social media, saw no evidence of it.
Which is kind of weird. Prosecutors asked the judge for a new arrest warrant for Rittenhouse because he violated his bail conditions. Rittenhouse, who was charged with killing 2 people and injuring another during a protest last August in Kenosha, Wisconsin, moved locations without alerting the court. Mark Richards, the teen's lawyer, filed a counter motion on Wednesday stating that Rittenhouse had no choice but to move due to receiving death threats. Richards stated he offered to give prosecutors the teen's safe house address. However, they would have had to vow to keep the address a secret. Prosecutors refused.
Yeah, that's a horrible thing that the court wouldn't be allowed to publicly disclose the address of a young kid who is on trial for murder. Half the population in Kenosha probably wants him dead. He's innocent. And has no way of defending himself. He's lost his gun. They took the gun away from him. And so he has no gun. And whoever's going after him knows it.
To do so, and are now asking that Rittenhouse's bail be set at $200,000.
No, that's incorrect. If they increase the bail, it'll be increased to $2.2 million, not $200,000.
Hey, am I the only one? Am I the only one?
That's going to get everything all wrong about this case? No, you're going to be joined on by 3 other people who are also going to get it all wrong. And there's plenty of other people out there who have got it all wrong.
Rob, amazed at how white folk just stay out of jail and get to decide.
That's not true. Crystal Kaiser, again, I have said this a million times, and they will never understand this. Crystal Kaiser is a young black female, and about a year ago, she killed a man, and they think that she planned the killing. She also burned the house down so that she could hide the evidence, and then stole the man's car. And she's out on $400,000 bond. And guess what? She's the same age as Kyle, and this all went through the Kenosha County DA. Same court. So this is purely a lie. And they keep telling this lie over and over and over again. And the people buy it. There is no evidence to suggest that Kyle would be in jail if he was black. His bail is set at $2 million. They want $2.2 million. Hers was only $400,000. By the way, I think it's great that she is now free to go out and defend herself. So that's why we have bail, is to allow a person freedom so that they can put together their defense. Bail is not punishment, but they will never understand that.
No, we ain't gonna give y'all our address. It's unsafe.
As if it's unsafe. Yeah, it's unsafe, guy. I'm sorry. If you were in his position, you'd want to keep your location secret as well. He has no way to defend himself, and there are plenty of people who want to kill him.
Really?
Yeah. You just walk in front of a Capitol building that's guarded and just say, "Oh, y'all come in." I mean, this is definitely a different level of privilege, and
that didn't happen, but okay.
This is what we mean by privilege, because some people act like they're confused. Like, if a black man shot two people with a semi-automatic weapon on tape and killed them for no reason, he would be in jail right now and he wouldn't be getting out.
Okay, so let's go ahead. Crystal Kaiser, she killed a man. She's out on bail. Oh, wait a minute. She didn't use an AR-15. Oh, that makes a big difference to somebody who gets shot, because when you die, it matters somehow that the gun was a semi-automatic rifle instead of a semi-automatic handgun. Okay. And the other thing about it is he says it's on video. Well, yeah, if anything, that's the reason why Kyle should never have been charged in the first place. It is on video. He is being attacked. Crystal Kaiser wasn't being attacked. At least we don't think so. That's the problem. It is on video, and it lays claim to the fact that Kyle has a valid self-defense argument. But whatever the case, if you're going to charge him for murder, okay, it's a murder charge. You're going to have a high bail. But this idea somehow that you should lock him up because a black person would be locked up too, it's purely bogus. It's an absolute fabrication.
Now, end of story. Like, this is only true if you're...
End of story. Truth by blatant assertion. Did I not say in another video to watch out for that argument? Period. End of thread. Anytime anybody says end of story, end of thread, period, that means their argument is probably not very good.
White man in America. And only because people want to have some sympathy and empathy for what happened to them and try to justify this. He killed black people, crossed state lines, because he wanted to go promote hate, because he works for...
Wait, oh, back up a second. He killed black people? This is your guest on your show. He comes in and he doesn't know anything about what happened.
Not what he works for. He associates with white supremacists. He belongs in jail. He has no business being out here. Hopefully he will get in jail and be held accountable. But there's just a whole other level of privilege in this country if you're white, clearly.
Just reminds me of Misha, the woman who was one of the January 6 people, went to the court and asked him, hey, there's a bond, my company has a bonding retreat in Mexico. Can I get to leave the country and go to that? I'll come back.
It has nothing to do with this case. It has nothing to do with this case.
But that's what this sounds like. Oh, he's getting death threats, so therefore we need to keep his address a secret.
He's not going to Mexico. He's not leaving the county. He's just not telling the courts where he's living because they refuse to keep it secret because, I don't know, he doesn't want to get killed.
Really? Really? He gets special conditions?
He hasn't been given special conditions. They're going to have a bail hearing this Thursday to determine what his new bail will be because of this. Now, it could be that they don't put on any additional bail, but the idea somehow that he's getting away with it when we haven't even had the bail hearing yet.
So from the moment that Kyle Rittenhouse actually was arrested, he's gotten special conditions. This is a guy who should have never gotten out on bail to begin with. One, he was always a flight risk. His co-conspirators, these individuals who supported him, QAnon folk and the like, were able to raise millions of dollars for him. He was always a flight risk.
So wait a minute now. So if somebody is able to bail you out, you're a flight risk. So how would anybody ever bail out? That doesn't make any sense at all. What you're saying is we set up a really high bail, so high a bail that he has no chance of making bail. Then there's no point in even having bail. The Constitution guarantees reasonable bail. There are cases where you can deny it, but you can't raise a bail amount artificially high for the purposes of preventing somebody from being able to make the bail if somebody's willing to pay him. But this argument here that, well, the very fact that somebody was able to pay his bail means he's a flight risk, then using that argument, no one would ever be able to get out on bail. I mean, bail bondsmen, for example, will pay your bail. Of course, they charge it about like a 10% fee. However, does that mean that if you find a bail bondsman to bail you out, that means that you're a flight risk and therefore shouldn't have bail? Where do they get these people?
This is a guy who traveled across state lines with an illegal gun. Mind you, it wasn't his gun.
No, he didn't. She doesn't understand what happened. She's uninformed. He did not travel across the state lines with that rifle. And even if he did, so what? It's not a part of the crime. It doesn't matter if the gun was bought in Illinois or Wisconsin. Why are people so fixated on this border thing? They don't mind having open borders for the United States and Mexico and Canada, but boy, they sure get upset if somebody crosses a state border.
He wasn't even old enough to have a gun, and he committed murder. Not only was he allowed to drive back home, meanwhile walking past officers with blood on his shoes, carrying a weapon with the capacity.
With blood on his shoes? Oh, come on. This is the crap that gets told. And people buy this.
Capacity of multiple rounds after shooting someone. He goes to jail, and then he makes bail because they don't figure somehow he's a flight risk. I don't know how.
Yeah, they put a $2 million bail on it, and he made bail. That's how bail works.
And then guess what? He leaves. He's no longer in the location that he was initially assigned to. The issue here is also that in so leaving, this was a conversation that was held with police officers. They knew the whole time that this kid was planning on running. And at the end of the
He never ran. Oh my God. She's just a dumbass. Okay, so here's the deal. In the preliminary hearing, in the bail hearing on November 2nd, they said that he was at an undisclosed location. The prosecutor knew that he was at an undisclosed location, and that's why they said a $2 million bail was because they didn't know where he was living. But he didn't flee. He's still in the county, and guess what? He shows up at every court proceeding. Does that sound like a fugitive to you? And he's got a bail hearing this Thursday, and guess what? He'll probably be there.
Today, I think that there have been so many ways that the justice system has gone wrong in this case, and it's protected this guy who we knew was a white supremacist, who we knew had QAnon conspiracy theories all up in his head, who we knew went on social media.
Okay, so there's two falsehoods. One, we knew he was a white supremacist. No, there's some evidence that if you look at it in a certain way might suggest that he's a white supremacist, and that was because he met up with some Proud Boys in a bar. There's no indication they even knew him. Or that he knew them at all. They got pictures with him, and he did this little okay symbol. That's the extent of the white supremacy thing. And that doesn't mean you know that he's a white supremacist. And he had QAnon conspiracy theories up in his head. Where is she getting that? I haven't heard anything about that. And we knew that?
Went on social media and talked about what he was going to do and the types of things that he hated, including Black Lives Matter and any free.
That's an outright lie. That never was sown. Mark Zuckerberg already went through Facebook. Couldn't find anything like that.
For Black people, he was the type of guy who had been radicalized into terrorism. That's what he is, and he should have been locked up.
This is just an outright character assassination here. She has no basis for any of these comments. She's just making it up. And guess what? People are listening to it and they're buying it. Oh, man. She is a moron.
And it's very frustrating to see that they allowed him to slip through their fingers because honestly, they weren't trying to do anything. They didn't consider him a criminal.
Michael, was a trip is the attorney says, oh, a high-ranking cop told us to do this.
I want to know the name of the high-ranking cop, and was that high-ranking cop at the January 6th stop the steal insurrection?
No, it's not hard to find out who it is. He's the police chief captain. There's only one of them. And we do have video footage of the attorney going into the police department to talk to him about it. There's no sound, so we don't know what was said. Keep in mind that the attorney made this in a sworn affidavit. This is not just him going to reporters and making a comment. This is in a sworn affidavit. So I don't know if maybe the attorney misunderstood what the police chief said. I don't know. It doesn't sound right. And I admit that maybe on a first glance, this thing sounds kind of like it's funny, but it may have happened. Who knows?
At the U.S. Capitol building. But it's important, earlier in the segment, you show Madam Vice President Kamala Harris, who said this is Black History Month. But it's important for us to understand that Black History Month occurs during White Privilege Year, okay? And this is what we're seeing right here. All right, we're seeing this is the height of white privilege once again, where you just get to make up your own rules as you go along. Okay, so I hope they put him back in jail. He's violating the terms of the bail. I hope they put him back in jail, revoke his bail, and we'll see what happens with this. But once again, this is white privilege once again, and they're making up the rules as they go along.
Okay, so just throw out the white privilege thing at every corner. They have only mentioned white privilege about 50 times so far, and I'm really getting kind of tired of them using this argument. They even use it on the fact that, well, it's white privilege that Kyle is even out on bail, completely ignoring the fact that Crystal Kaiser's also out on bail. They say this all the time. It's just a lame excuse.
Oh, and the other thing is, Roland, in this article here, it's important people to note that assault rifle that he got, reportedly, it was purchased with stimulus check money.
So what? What difference does it make where he got the money? As long as it wasn't like robbing a liquor store or something like that. The purpose of the stimulus check was to give people money so they could go out and buy things. And so by giving out money and having them buy things, it would stimulate the economy. He did. He went to a hardware store and he bought a rifle that gave the hardware store money, which allows them to pay their employees. He's pulling off one of the dumb arguments I highlighted in one of my videos. It does not matter if he used his stimulus money to buy the rifle.
All I'm saying is, that you just think that you just get to go ahead with, I ain't telling the court my address, so
Right.
If y'all want.
Well, to be honest with you, if I really felt that people were going to kill me if I disclosed the address, I think I might not. Yeah, I'll take my chances with a bail hearing, but at least I'll be alive. There's a lot of other people commenting that, well, if he really feels that life is so dangerous out there, he should be in jail where it's safe. Yeah, it's perfectly safe in jail. Where do they get these arguments?
Want it, you got to keep it private. Everything else public record.
Yeah.
But no, y'all want the address, you got to go ahead and I'm telling these folks, hey, I'm telling you, y'all.
Hey, Trump has them believing they have all types of power.
Bro.
Another thing about it is why do they so badly want the address publicized? Are they going to go there and shake hands with Kyle? Or perhaps they kind of know that there are plenty of people out there that want to harm Kyle, and wouldn't it be great if they knew where he lived? Why is it they so badly want Kyle's address disclosed?
They believe it.
Hey man, these folks are straight tripping. Every single night. We've got some of the top black experts. You're not gonna see them on cable news or broadcast news because you swear black people aren't experts when it comes to this health crisis. That's why we have this show and why we do what we do every day on Roland Martin Unfiltered. Joining us right now.
Okay, I'm sorry. There are some black people who are experts on the virus and COVID and stuff like that. There are a lot of black people who have advanced degrees, who have researched this, and their takes on the issue are serious. Not you. You're an idiot. So, the echo chamber. You get four dinglings together and they just start to talk and talk and talk, and there's nobody that's going to put any kind of wild idea in check. I mean, notice, one of them thought that Kyle shot black people that night, and not a single one of them stepped forward to say, hey, now, we have to correct the record here, guys. Just for the sake of being accurate, the people that he shot that night were white. Not a single one of them steps forward. This is an echo chamber, and this is the real problem when you have four people who just simply want to get up there and talk. And if you're going to serve on some sort of panel on an issue, know what you're talking about. They are so badly misinformed on everything about this case. So take it for what it's worth. Roland Martin, you don't impress me. I think your show sucks. Like my video and subscribe to my channel. Maybe someday I'll have as many followers as he has. Yeah, probably not, but idiocy sells.